this shirt's from?
Pearless?
Damn right. But you wish you could afford a shirt like this.
I've always found that that's like one of the biggest scams, dude.
What, Pearless?
Yeah, they embroider a crawfish on a shirt so they can charge you, 3 times the price for a shitty polo shirt.
Well, you got to be able to identify whether or not you're in a Louisiana elite.
That's what the elite is?
Yes. Elite, non-elite.
Obviously not elite.
Superior, dipshit.
Seaside.
Oh,
I forgot to put the camera up for time.
Hey, welcome back to Creeps, Crimes, and Cryptids, brought to you by Ghost City Tours, the world's #1 ghost tour company. We are talking once again about the great city of New Orleans because, we're right here.
And also, in spite of what Tim Nealon thinks, I love New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. Tim Nealon might not like New Orleans, but I sure do. And we have plenty of tours in New Orleans as well. We're going to talk about that later on in the show. But if you want to learn more about our ghost tours, go to ghostcitytours.com. So we did this one a little bit differently.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, we did this one different.
What would you think the whole intro was about?
I don't know. I thought we were just goofing.
No. Well, we are, but no. But we went to the city and we went on a field trip. We wanted to have class outside. And we tried to make this show a little more interactive this time. And ideally, this is what we do in the future. So once again, being this close to New Orleans, we went down to the city and we focused on a creep and a crime and a cryptid.
Sure did.
Real quick before we toss to ourselves out in the field, do you remember what the creep was?
I believe that the creep was the Superdome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the former Mercedes-Benz Superdome, now presently the Caesars Superdome.
Nailed it.
It is a big building where football plays happen.
Yeah, football plays happen. They also have boat shows and sometimes the Final Fours over there. All kinds of sporting events. The Pope came one time.
The Pope? Don't do that, dude.
The Pope graced the city with his presence.
Its presence?
The Pope came to New Orleans in the 80s, I believe.
Yeah.
Pope John Paul II.
JP2, dude.
Yeah, JP2. Maybe cleansed what we're going to be talking about in just a minute. Let's cut to that clip right now. All right, we're here for our very first remote Creeps, Crimes, and Cryptids segment, starting, of course, as always, on the Creeps. Here, at no other place, I think, to start off at, here in the beautiful city of New Orleans, in front of the Caesars Superdome, formerly the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, formerly the Louisiana Superdome. And before that, Paul?
Before that, it was the Girod Street Cemetery.
Right. So what I believe that the story is that there was some sort of cemetery here that they built upon the Superdome?
Yeah, so in the 1800s, they started a cemetery out here because it was conveniently located in the city, and it was specifically for the Protestants. So New Orleans has traditionally been a Catholic city, and they needed a place to put the Protestants that wouldn't interfere with the good Catholic people. So they built the cemetery, which was behind us, whereas today, the Superdome. So they did that in the late 1800s all the way up until the 1950s. It was a functional cemetery. And then in the early 1970s, they decided that they needed to create a large venue for NFL games and concerts and things. So they demolished the cemetery, right? And they relocated most of the bodies, but not all. And that's why many people claim the Saints are cursed and they suck so much.
Yeah, they sucked historically for decades until 2009 when the Savior Drew Brees came through and broke the curse, of course, winning the Super Bowl. But many still believe that there are weird things that happen in there. Of course, there's a dark history after Hurricane Katrina where so many people had to be displaced in there for several days. A lot of nastiness went on in there.
Don't Google it.
Yeah, don't Google it.
You don't want to know.
It was no good. But there were some nefarious characters who could potentially still be haunting, and maybe some of their deeds are the reason why there's some hauntings here at the Superdome.
Yeah, so there's a guy who's actually buried in this cemetery. Supposedly his remains are still underneath the Superdome today. He was originally a governor of California back in the 1800s, I believe. His name is
John C. Weller.
Thank you. I don't remember names well. So John C. Weller was a character. He went off. He was in California, became the governor for a little while, and he organized I guess a massacre, you could say, of a Native American tribe. The U.S. Army said, hey, we're not going to go kill these people because they have done nothing wrong. But old Mr. Weller was like, fuck that, dude. We're going to get these guys out of here. So he organized his own troop and wound up paying them $11,000 in 1800s money, which is, we'll put a thing up for inflation.
Math.
And they killed every man, woman, and child in the tribe And ultimately, John Weller was like, hey, I'm going to get out of California. I'm going to go a place where the weather's better. So he went down to South Louisiana and was here for a little while, where he ultimately died. And then they buried him right over there.
Do you believe that there are still human remains underneath the crevices of the Superdome?
Listen, if there's one thing I know about the city of New Orleans, that we half-ass everything. So I guarantee you that in the 1970s, when they were like, hey, we're going to build a Superdome here, we got to move these bodies, I promise you some people were like, we're not digging up all those bones.
Well, so if you find yourself at a Taylor Swift concert or a New Orleans Saints game and you feel a cold breeze across your neck, it might still very well be the ghost of the poor people who were left behind here in front of the Superdome. Boy, I love football.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Like big men running into each other, huh?
Yeah, it's the best.
All right.
Tight ends.
Dude, you're spicy today.
I'm spicy. Probably because we went down to the city of New Orleans and off camera had some spicy food.
Had some spicy rubbery crawfish.
Yeah. Rule of thumb, if you're not from New Orleans or Louisiana at all and you want to come visit the city, don't get crawfish in the French Quarter. It's overpriced and it's the turnover. They don't care. They're giving you Dollar General version crawfish.
One exception.
For what's an expensive brand?
Perlis.
Perlis prices.
One exception, Three-Legged Dog. Three-Legged Dog is a bar in the Quarter. It's on the outskirts. It's on the far side of Bourbon Street. People don't usually go there, but Friday nights, Saturday nights, sometimes I think they do a nice crawfish boil. They do it right over there.
Yeah, I believe they start at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, which is past when we left.
No free ads. Well, if you want to take a tour in the city of New Orleans, we got plenty to offer. 4, actually.
Yeah, we do. Do you know the names of them?
We have the Bad Bitches tour.
Oh, our most famous.
That is a 16 and up. It's about the crazy bitches of New Orleans lore and history.
That's right.
People such as
Bricktop. I think that was her name. She was a prostitute who murdered a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
She's fun.
We also have the haunted New Orleans pub crawl as well. That's 21 and up, where they'll take you to multiple haunted-esque locations and give you some spooky ghost stories and great history, while also having a nice cocktail or a beer in your hand.
Indeed, yes.
And then there is the Ghost of New Orleans tour, I believe it's called, which is the family-friendly, all-ages tour.
Sure.
And then there's another 16 and 1 up. That is the Killers and Thrillers tour.
Yes. Lots of kills and thrills on that one.
Only reason I was able to spit all 4 of those is because I told a girl on Bumble earlier today what the tours were. She was asking.
I didn't know Bumble was still a thing.
Yeah, it's still a thing. And it's not good, though, because it used to be like the only app where like the girl would start the conversation and like you take the pressure off of you for just a little bit. But then eventually they would just say hi, nothing to it. And then they started doing this thing called like an opening move, where they'll have a prompt and it's like, hey, like, how would you spend your perfect weekend? And then you are essentially starting the conversation by telling them about your perfect weekend. And then so once again, you're starting the conversation like every other app.
Just plug that in ChatGPT, dude.
I wonder how many people are responding to me via AI.
Yeah, you're really just talking to bots all day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of these apps they have an AI component that will help you create your bio via AI.
Did you see the thing? This is a while ago. I'm sure it's all AI now, but it was like all these girls on OnlyFans were hiring like guys in India and stuff to respond to messages, like these big OnlyFans models, which is just hilarious to me that some guy's like, oh, you're so hot. There's some dude over there like, yeah, this is great. Getting paid $2 an hour to do this. Yeah. America.
God bless America. RIP to the OnlyFans creator.
Yeah.
He didn't hurt society at all. Anyway, go take a Ghost City tour in New Orleans. GhostCityTours.com/New Orleans. All right, let's get back to the episode. Okay, so we had our creep, went down to the Superdome, parked at the top of a parking garage. No one caused a fuss.
No, it was nice.
Yeah.
It was a nice experience. You became a minister?
Yes, I became a minister that day. I had to, go get some paperwork done while we were there. 2 birds, 1 stone kind of thing. But we also talked about a creep.
Crime.
We talked about a crime. What crime did we talk about? I genuinely don't remember.
I have no recollection of it. Oh, I remember. No, it was the guy. We went down to the old U.S. Mint.
Ah, yes.
The old U.S. Mint, which is right there on the outskirts of the French Quarter. Mm-hmm. And nowadays, it's a national park site. They do jazz performances in there. But back in the 1800s, it was the site of quite a crime.
Yeah. Life hack. If you want to go down there and you don't want to pay for parking, you could park kind of along the river. What's that street that's catty corner to?
Yeah. Catty corner or kitty corner?
Kitty? It's kitty corner? I The catty corner.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm asking.
I'm thinking it's catty corner.
All right. What do you think, Tyler?
No comment.
No comment.
All right.
Tyler likes the kitty corners. Anyway, it's if you're going down Elysian Fields, I don't remember what the name of the road is. You either come down Decatur and you keep going straight, hug the river, or you come down Elysian, you take a left instead of going right into the quarter. You park over there. Be warned if you go over there, don't park a nice car out there, and be mindful for while you're walking. Make sure you don't step in human excrement because it's not exactly the best area, but the parking is free.
We love free parking, and we love this next clip. Check it out.
Now for our creeps. Oh, all right. Now for our crimes segment, we are standing in front of the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Museum, formerly known as the U.S. Mint Building.
That's right. Today it's a national park site because you can make basically anything a national park site in America. Get some good government money. But actually, back in the day, this was one of the only places during the Civil War to print Confederate money. So it's got an interesting and sordid history. So for our crime story, we're talking about a man named William Bruce Mumford.
Ooh.
So basically, pretty early on in the Civil War, the North decided that they were going to take back the city of New Orleans because it was a port city and it was how the South basically got all of their supplies up the Mississippi River, right? And the president of the Confederacy, a fellow by the name of Jefferson Davis, who was an idiot, decided that he was not going to protect the city of New Orleans at all. And so basically the North took over the city of New Orleans in about 5 minutes. It was sort of like a, Poland-Germany situation, but in the 1800s. Anyway, neither here nor there. So, guy by the name of William Bruce Mumford, how does he come into our story today and what is his crime? So, after the Union takes over the city of New Orleans, one of the first things that they did was they took down the Confederate flag that was up on top of the old U.S. Mint right here, and they replaced it with the American flag. Now, this guy, Bruce Mumford, he's hanging out in the bar, he's having a couple of cocktails with his boys, and he's like, man, we're not gonna let him do that. We're not gonna let him do that to our town. So Mumford gets up and he climbs up the side of the building right here, right? So imagine this, it's 1862, I believe, and there's a man just scaling the side of this building. Right? He's just climbing up the fucking side of the building like a psychopath. Now, meanwhile, people are yelling at him, hey, stop or we're gonna shoot you. And he keeps climbing. So they start shooting at him. Actually, there was a ship in the Mississippi River right here that started firing cannons at him. But Mumford makes it all the way to the top up there. He tears down the American flag and replaces it with a Confederate flag. And then he starts running through the French Quarter of New Orleans, tearing up the American flag and handing out pieces of it to people he meets on the street as like souvenirs, like, hey, look what I did. Now, Mumford was not the brightest bulb in the box because then he took a piece of the little flag and he put it in his lapel, right? And so the Union Army found him very quickly sitting in the same bar that he was in earlier, getting hammered. And they subsequently arrested him. And everybody thought that they were going to pardon him. They were just making a show out of it. But actually, Mumford gets sentenced to death. And the general who was in charge of the city brings him up there. Everybody's thinking it's just going to be a big show. They actually were going to hang him right here in the courtyard of the building. But when push comes to shove, the general was like, no, we're going to hang him. So Mumford gives this long speech about how he loves America and he fought for America and this isn't the American way. And then they hang him anyway. And so Bruce Mumford lost his life right here in the courtyard of this building. Some say it's still haunted. And that's the crime of the week here.
I like how the most effective way of getting him down was to shoot cannons at him.
Shoot I mean, it didn't work, obviously, so
right.
I don't know how accurate cannons were in 1862.
Couldn't be that accurate.
No, but I mean,
You just get around the general vicinity.
Yeah, you'd think it would have scared him off to just pop down, but he didn't. He just kept going. He was determined.
What a real dumbass. All right, back to us.
What a dummy.
Yeah, it wasn't a great play, but we have a long history in the city of big, stupid alcoholics, and it seems like that's what he was. Well, supposedly, I don't know if we talked about this in the clip or not, but you can cut it out if so, or don't. You probably won't. But supposedly he thought he was going to get pardoned on the day, and kind of everybody thought he was as well. So it was kind of a shock to everybody when they dropped him, and he...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn. What a letdown.
There's actually, again, I don't know if we talked about this in the clip or not, because we're not that professional, but there is a Confederate museum in the city of New Orleans, which is a little odd, but it's there, that actually has a piece of the flag. It was the piece that he wore in his lapel. It was the old, the hell is it called? It was like a Confederate Veterans Hall, basically, where after the Civil War, all the soldiers would meet up for their yearly gatherings. It was, it's right in a circle that was formerly called Lee Circle. Now it's just a stupid pedestal because the city doesn't have plans for anything that they do.
Is the museum where those Confederate statues that were torn down? Are they there now? They're in some warehouse somewhere.
They're in a warehouse in New Orleans East, rusting.
Well, if you'd like to take a ghost tour outside of the city of New Orleans, we offer tours throughout the entire nation. Tell them about some of the cities we do tours in, Paul.
Oh, man, we do tours in so many cities. We do tours in Salem, in Boston, in Washington, D.C., in Portland, Oregon, Portland, Maine. Not really, but maybe we will one day.
I always forget about Portland, Maine.
Yeah, it's a place, the other Portland. We got Seattle, San Diego, San Antonio, all the Sands.
We don't do tours in Mississippi, and that's the only thing that Louisiana has going for it right now over the state of Mississippi. But if you'd like to take a tour at any of the other places like New Orleans or San Antonio or Salem, go to ghostcitytours.com. We have so many tours, so many cities, family-friendly, adult tours, pub crawls. You're going to love it. And we don't just do sensational ghost stories. We tell you real stories rooted in history, things that actually happened. We'll break myths, we'll bust the myths, and we'll give you the real stuff while also showing you a good time. #1 ghost tour company in the world, ghostcitytours.com. All right, let's go to our cryptid. So we're going to go shoot something about a cryptid.
Yes. So
And we did.
We did. We went to a place called the Abita Mystery House because I have a recollection that they had a miniature version of the cryptid there. But when we arrived, what happened, Carter?
We walked in and I went to the, what do you call the
Proprietor?
The proprietor of the Abita Mystery House. And I said, hey, we're here to shoot some stuff. He goes, I don't care. Go on in. Okay, cool. I'm here to see the Rougarou. And he goes, I don't have that. I go, what? He goes, I don't have that. So I go, well, we're going to go look anyway. Turns out the guy who owns it was right.
Yeah, you'd think you would hope that he knew what he had in there.
There's a lot of stuff in there, though. We got some video going in the background you can see.
Yeah, you'll see it's a really cool place. It's worth a stop in. A little weird roadside attraction there. I think it's $5 to get in now.
Well, it's $5 to get out.
Ah, getting in's the easy part.
Yeah, you can get in for free, but it costs you $5 to get out.
A lot of knickknacks, a lot of what have yous. There's a 3-headed chicken in there, I believe. Mm-hmm. There's Daryl the dog-a-gator.
Yeah.
There's also a bass-a-gator, which is a giant bass alligator thing.
There's a giant UFO that you can go in.
Yeah. There's all kind of stuff. It's sort of a museum of junk in a good way.
Yeah, it's the best stuff in the world, but it does not have a Rougarou, and that's what we're talking about today. So, because we couldn't go anywhere else in the time that we needed to release this podcast, we're going to talk to you about the Rougarou right here in studio, the old-fashioned way.
Love an old-fashioned.
I know you do. What's in an old-fashioned? Real quick, tell the folks.
Bourbon, sugar, bitters, and some fruit. You muddle it up in there. It's delicious.
And what makes it a Sazerac instead of an old-fashioned?
That's a good question. Actually, don't rye?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that just be a Manhattan? Or Manhattan's got sweet vermouth instead of dry vermouth. Manhattans are good. Manhattan is an underrated cocktail.
You know what's an underrated cryptid is the Rougarou.
Tell me.
It comes originally from like 12th century France, where it was called the loup-garou.
The loup-garou?
Loup-garou.
That sounds like a roller coaster.
No, it's not. We're pretty sure there is a roller coaster called the Rougarou. Maybe
there was a Zephyr.
It was a Zephyr. It was the old Jazzland.
Yeah, it's not there anymore.
No, it's just a heroin den.
It was there, but
that's actually a creepy place. We should go shoot in there.
Well, you want to get stabbed by a bumsy.
Yeah, probably so. But the Rougarou tradition was this kind of werewolf type creature, and it's just evolved over the years. Of course, the many French people went to Acadia up in Nova Scotia, and then those fucking English were like, you get out of here. And so they got kicked out of Nova Scotia, the Acadians, and they came down, eventually made their way down to South Louisiana, where the Acadians became Acadian and then became Cajun. Really, that's a kind of a slur, really, of Acadian.
Why did they come so far down?
Well, they stopped in a few places. Like there's actually a kind of a large Acadian population in like New Hampshire, I believe, or Vermont. They went to some of the islands around the Caribbean, and then they just
didn't like the weather.
No, I guess they didn't like the weather. Many of them died, honestly, on their way down. But they heard there was opportunity with a lot of French influence already in the state of Louisiana. They came down here, and I think something to do with the agriculture. They're like, oh, we can live off the land here.
And that's what swamp.
And that's exactly what Cajuns do. They live off the land. They're a lot of ingenuity involved in the Cajuns, and a lot of it also is you see it in their food. Of course, there's stories. This cryptid, the rougarou, is eventually it would become in many French Cajun communities. It was very Catholic, a lot of Catholic communities. And a lot of these rougarou stories were told by, honestly, the Catholic Church to make sure that people were following their Lenten resolutions and being good boys and girls during Lent. If you were to not abide by your Lenten promises or follow the rules of Lent, so to speak, the rougarou would come and get you, come and punish you. So kind of a scare tactic, and also parents would use it to scare their kids into doing the right thing. But they learned that from the church. The rougarou is this werewolf type creature with glowing red, yellow eyes. It's kind of a more humanoid, like top of the dog, body of a human. Part man, part beast, walks upright like a human, but whenever it's like hunting or searching for, its prey, it gets on all fours like a dog and sniffs around. You become a rougarou by either getting bit by a rougarou or a witch curses you. The curse often lasts 101 days, and to pass it on, the rougarou must draw blood from someone else. Weird things about the rougarou, like to prevent it from coming into your home and eating you and whatnot, or attacking your children. To prevent it from coming in through the threshold of your house, many people would put either 13 candles or 13 pennies or 13 objects in front of their house, because apparently the rougarou can't count past 12, much like Tyler.
12 disciples. It's a Catholic thing. Sure, I'll go with that. I'll buy it.
Can't count past 13. Not much like the rest of Louisiana, didn't have the best education.
How dare you? You're sounding like Tim Nealon, dude.
Look, go look at the stats. I love Louisiana, but we got to do something about the kids, man.
The Utes?
The Utes.
They're fine.
Although the North Shore has good schools. St. Tammany Parish, number one in your hearts.
We're the one bright spot.
But yeah, so there's never really been any evidence of the rougarou. Some people have claimed to have sightings like many of these cryptids, but in the end of the day, it was really just an oral tradition that got passed down all the way from the 12th century to today. And it's still part of the culture of South Louisiana. If you go down to Houma once a year in October, they had the Rougarou Fest, where a lot of people are dressing up, cooking great, delicious Cajun and Creole cuisines, and playing good music, having a good time, looking out for the rougarou. Best probably that they don't do it during Lent,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What about isn't there a white wolf? Is that the same thing as the rougarou?
I don't think so. Tyler, you ever heard of that?
No.
Okay.
He's not on a microphone, but he said no.
Yeah, it's around him.
It is. You could
There's
talk
a
into
microphone?
it.
It's picking him up, technically.
Oh, okay.
Where?
But yeah, so we weren't able to do the field trip and make it work. We started talking about the rougarou
We did a field trip.
Yeah, we went to the museum, but there were other customers walking around, and it was hot and muggy, and I was rambling. But yeah, that's all we had for the rougarou. Do you have anything else to add to this Louisiana cryptid or any of the creeps crimes of this New Orleans area?
Man, I mean, there's a lot of crimes in the New Orleans area. I can tell you that for sure.
Sure
I mean,
are.
I'll tell you one that we didn't cover. You want to talk about some disturbing ones? Oh, no, we talked about that in the first episode, didn't we? Yeah, never mind. That's no good. Let's see. What's another one? Well, you'd always talk about the... How about that serial killer who killed into Howard Stern?
Did you transfer that to me?
Maybe it did, dude. It's the magic of the dolls.
Yeah, we do have a haunted doll now. Shout out Paranormal Princess hanging with us today.
Two of them.
Yeah, we got two of them.
Double dolls.
Yeah, maybe that's what caused that noise issue. Wait, what guy?
What did you say?
I don't know. Well, that'll do it for this week's Creeps, Crimes, and Cryptids. We plan on bringing the show back at some points. Might very well be next week. But we'd like to do a little more like we did today. Podcasts are boring these days. You just don't want two assholes just talking to a microphone, do you? You want to see stuff. You want to experience things. We love to show it
Texas
to you.
1976. Our one fan.
Shout out
you.
Texas 1976.
I think it's 76. It's either 76 or 78. He's a good boy. Whoever you are. Maybe it's a lady. I don't know. Ooh. Hey, if you're a lady, Carter Single. Cage ladies.
But yeah, we got some ideas that we're gonna do with the show. But if you are subscribed to the Ghost City Tours YouTube page, we have tons of content coming out every single week. Of course, we have the Ghost City podcast. We've got some other long form things that we're working on. We do some tales from the tour. We do tales from the tavern.
Yeah, we got some cocktail videos. We're about to have if you like New Orleans, we're about to have a long series on the dark history of New Orleans. We're working on that. That's going to be really exciting. There's going to be some Bigfoot stuff coming up.
Yeah, we're going to Oregon for a little bit to go start our Bigfoot documentary. I'm excited to get over there and talking about that and fleshing that thing out. That's probably, that probably won't be on the YouTube, but that's going to be
That's going to be a premium.
big time stuff.
Gotta shell out for that one.
Mm-hmm. Our favorite cryptid in the world, Bigfoot, of course. But until then, tell your friends about this show. Let us know in the comments, like where you want us to go. We'd love to tell our boss, like, hey, look, we have fans who actually want us to go to these places. So we'd love to go to Salem for a week and do some stories about the creeps, crimes, and cryptids of Salem, Massachusetts. We'd love to go to San Antonio and do some tales about the creeps, crimes, and cryptids of San Antonio. Eat some churros. Go see Ghostbuster. Go see Ghostman.
Yeah, it's good boys.
There's some good boys, great tour guys. Go take a tour in San Antonio. Until then, we appreciate all two of you, especially you, Texas 1776 or
1976.
1976, and everyone who has listened or watched so far. We'll be back sooner rather than later. Until then, peace.
The stories, theories, and opinions shared on Creeps, Crimes, and Cryptids are those of the hosts alone and do not necessarily reflect the views of Ghost City Tours, living, dead, or otherwise.